Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast. I think we're at season 8, episode 12.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
and to say I am angry is an understatement.
And a way I did not, I mean, we knew this was coming because it was on like the preview and stuff, but I was like, my hatred and anger has shifted from one couple to the other, even though the other couple is a problem.
They're all the men in relationships are driving me fucking up a wall.
I
Ugh,
just,
like all of
it's
them.
a rough week in Bravo world, in my opinion.
Oh my God, it's like insufferable. Okay, but before we get into the actual episode, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast, which is also a Summer House Martha's Vineyard podcast and a Winter House podcast. We have It's About the Pasta, Vanderpump Rules podcast, and One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Meredith, I believe we have some reviews.
Really? Oh, God, I love when these roll
Yes,
in. Like, it just makes me so happy. We've been getting so many lately. Thank
I
you, everyone.
know. Okay, so our first one is 5 stars from Shauna Coe, and it's titled Fun and Must Listen for Bravo Fans. And it says, amazing podcast. I love Alicia and Meredith and hearing their takes on my 2 favorite Bravo shows. I'm invested in their opinions, and it feels like I'm hanging out with friends when I'm listening. Although the pod is funny and light, it's also insightful and has opened my eyes to different ideas and perspectives while listening. I will support and recommend Alicia and Meredith as long as they continue to podcast. So happy that to have discovered this and the Vanderpump Rules podcast. Thank you for so much worthwhile content. With love from Colorado.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
so
Shauna.
sweet. Thank you.
And then we have one more from Sassy Steph 13 for 5 stars, titled All Smiles, and says, love Summer House and love this podcast. I was listening to their recent episode driving home and kept zoning out and then catching myself just smiling the biggest smile. They're so funny and remind me and my bestie. Please be
I
safe on the
love
road,
that.
but we're honored.
Yes. We're happy to be on the drive with you because that's the thing is I feel like we're like internet besties with so many people, Alicia.
I know, and people see themselves in us, which makes me happy.
It weirdly like I already loved our friendship, but it weirdly like validates our friendship because I'm like other people see that we have so much fun together, and that's a weird thing to get like feedback on. But I love it. I'm like,
Like,
we have so much fun
this is a
together.
good
You're so
friendship.
right.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much. Okay, check us out on the Instagram and TikTok at Vanderpasta and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you very quickly what you can get because we want to get to the episode. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever the hell we want. And also you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we go back and we watch old seasons of these shows, we'll do a Bravo after show so we can talk about Bravo spoilers there. Without putting them on the podcast. But this is a live season, so we'll talk about whatever we want on this podcast. Also, we'll say your name. So thank you to Allie, Ashton, Chris, Darby, D, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Jennifer, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Kirby, Chrissy, Lady Swamp Witch, Lauren, Lindsay with an I, Lindsay with a Y, Priscilla, Robin, Sammy, Sarah L, Sarah R, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Allie, Ann, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Kelly, Leanne, Lisa, Nina, Taylor, and Tara.
Woohoo! Look at
Yay!
that
Thank you so
list.
much. I know,
What a
it's
fun time.
crazy. But thank you guys so much for being a part of our Patreon.
Thank
Um,
you.
and then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned, plus during live seasons, which is now, I will ask for your questions, comments, opinions, concerns, whatever you want to tell us, and we'll read them on the podcast. Also, I'll pick a patron of the episode. So this week's patron of the episode is, oh crap, I thought I had someone I hadn't picked before, but I'm freaking wrong. I just saw him. Okay, I got one. Damn it. Okay, fuck. Okay. I'm gonna give it to Lindsay with an I because she left us a comment
Woohoo!
from last episode that we're gonna read. Also, just I feel like I should do this. I was going to pick Kirsten, but I did pick her before, but I have been saying her name wrong. So I'm going to double up and say that this is for Lindsay with an I, but also shout out to Kirsten. I'm so sorry. I probably said your name wrong when we originally picked you. Okay, great. So before we get into the episode, we have some thoughts from last week to talk about
Let's hear
because we
'em.
turned these over pretty quickly. So I just want to get that in there. Okay, so Kirsten said last week was such a good episode. Loved that everyone at dinner was just like, where are Amanda, Kyle, and Carl? Oh, well, they're lost. Dig in. Agreed. Very fun. Okay, so then Sierra's comment to Jesse seemed so harsh to me. I'm glad he pushed back. I've been loving Sierra this season too. I know she wants to take the relationship slow, but I'm all for sex positivity. Jesse isn't trash for hooking up with whoever he wants on the weekends.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, and then Kirsten says watching Lindsay gossip with Paige and Amanda in the bathroom is what I wished we had for the last 3 seasons. I had a moment though where I realized Lindsay is like Sheena with the Witches of WeHo when Shishu says she's realized how to interact with them. They want to bring back gossip that she hears about them. And here was Lindsay giving Paige her currency. That's fine. Some girls
Yes.
just like
Yeah.
communicate in gossip. And
Which
I
is
get that.
fine. That's true. Like, I think Lindsay's finding her way in how to communicate with people who are different from her.
Yeah, I love. Okay, then Kirsten said, I felt for her when Lindsay's abandonment issues overtook her. I think Lindsay's intense. And I don't think I could have a partner like her. I understand that Carl didn't want to have tough conversations, but that man was friends with her for 6 years before jumping into their relationship and accelerating it to the path of marriage. Lindsay is who she is. She doesn't hide it, and Carl was well aware of who he dated and asked to marry him. Watching him lie to her in that convo, or about watching him lie to her about the convo with his parents, show up to the shower and be the hero, know that she will see what he was said, and still not tell her the truth that he wants out. I just can't with him. He is still Carl 1.0 instead of 2.0.
Alicia, did you watch What Happens Live?
No.
Okay, Andy asked about this, about like how could you, a lot of people on the internet are like, how could you show up to the bridal shower when it was like 2 weeks before and then break it off? And he was like, you have all these events scheduled, and when you're like trying to figure out what's going on, he was like, I basically had to, like, what was I supposed to do? Just not show up, or like ask her to cancel the event because they weren't in a good place? And I was like, that is a good point. It is kind of hard to like stop the train on its tracks. But he mentioned again that they like were discussing this in therapy, and like they had that initial conversation where he did bad, and then he like had the conversation at the summer house where he like tried to like fix it all. And I again screamed on my TV and was like, what are you doing in couples therapy? If like you're unable to talk about this and actually get it across, then like, again, I don't believe in this therapy or this therapist. Like, I'm so concerned.
I don't believe Carl's being honest in therapy. Like, I don't think either of them
I
are,
want that to
but
be a
Carl's the one with
topic
issues.
at the reunion. Yeah.
I wonder if it will be because they filmed after last episode, so they were able to see like the switch. So I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so then also Kirsten, just FYI, Lindsay is spelled with an A instead of an E, and if she finds out, she's gonna kill you. I think I mentioned that before. She'll fucking kill you. So okay,
Yeah, she got mad at
Lindsay, Lindsay with an I and an A says, since 75% of this episode was Lindsay and Carl, I will give my thoughts, even though I hate wasting my breath on the situation because they have no romantic chemistry and are simply not compatible. There is no tenderness between them. I can't remember seeing them laugh together. It's like a car crash. It's hard to watch, but you can't look away. I'm a believer in there is someone for everyone. They both had some serious trauma in their lives that affects their actions and reactions, but I think that with the right person, they would both feel more able to open up and honest about their feelings and have a less tumultuous relationship. Should have stayed friends. Yeah, well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, at this point, fuck them. Now they'll
Well,
never be
not
friends
friends
again.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck them. So, um, Lindsay with an I says, surprised by Lindsay getting along with the girls this season. It's nice to see. Again, I want more Sierra and Wes. I want to see more conversations or dates between them. I like their chemistry, and we're only getting tiny snippets of them. I like Paige,
Yeah,
but I'm tired of hearing. Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say
Raging.
it's nice to have the girls and the West Sierra like storylines because I feel like it offsets the heaviness of the couples that we really see even this episode. Where like other shows that we're watching, I feel like have no light like happiness in it, and so despite me getting angry like this episode or other episodes, like I always have something to look forward to with this ensemble cast.
Yeah, truly. Um, Okay, then Lindsay with an I says, I like Paige, but I'm tired of hearing the same conversation between her and Craig. Oh, I find it interesting because I would also leave Craig hanging and waiting for me. But
I
that's just
am
me.
Paige right now, so
Yeah,
well, minus the
always.
boyfriend.
I'm Paige without having these actual conversations. This is just what I would say if I had a boyfriend.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying in my head to my non-existent boyfriend.
So Lindsay ends it and says, why did Amanda go over to Carl and rub his shoulders? I get he is stressed, but it seems weird to me. I don't know. The three of them, Amanda, Kyle, and Amanda, Kyle, and Carl have like a really close friendship. I didn't think it was weird. Amanda's
Yeah.
motherly. She's touchy feely, you know? Okay, last comment
Yeah,
comes
despite what Kyle
from,
thinks, she is motherly.
she was very motherly. She used to put up with him. Sorry, we'll get there. I'm mad for no reason. I'm mad for a lot of reasons. You know, it's just my feelings are wild. So, last comments come from Tonette. Tonette says, I'm in better spirits this episode. Paige and Craig are cute and adorable, and I want to think her doing this picnic in the park is her soaking in a little bit of what Danielle is saying with you're not giving Craig anything. Paige realizes she has to be more empathetic with Craig, and he realizes he needs to be more patient. Great. Carl is slowly realizing that Lindsay isn't his person is sad to watch because he's going about it all wrong. Sure, Lindsay believes she was blindsided, but there has been multiple red flags that led up to the breakup that pointed out he was getting cold feet. All in all, in the end, Carl is a baby bitch and Lindsay is a boss bitch. Period. Period, Tonette. Mad.
Period. That's it.
Okay, Tonette says, I'm flabbergasted with the reunion seating chart. So many questions. Why is Danielle in the last seat? Why is Wes closer than Danielle? Why is Wes so far from Sierra? I know, Tonette. I know. Go check out my TikTok. I was very shocked too. I love the call back to Lauren loving Carl's mom. Carl's apparently attracted to strong women, but clueless on how to handle them. And I think Wes
Ooh.
and Sierra are no longer together. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Well, great. Um okay, so let's get into the episode, shall we? Sorry, I had to take a minute to like process. Great.
Yeah, to reignite your rage from from watching this episode.
Oh my god. Okay. I apologize in advance to my neighbors who definitely at 9:30 a.m. don't need to listen to me fucking scream about bitch ass men. Okay. Well, let's do it. What's worse is bitch ass white men. In relationships. Jesus Christ.
Bitch ass
Okay,
white men
so
with a fucking mullet.
oh my god, it just doesn't get worse, you know? Okay, so previously on Summer House, Wes got a job. Amanda's struggling to find her identity outside of Kyle. Jesse's 5-year cancer checkup is coming up. Gabby's doing a fucking astrology reading. Wes is texting other girls. Lindsay lets the girls know about Wes. Carl and Lindsay are struggling and arguing in their relationship, and both of them suck. Carl's stepdad wouldn't marry them. Carl lied about it and didn't tell Lindsay until the middle of dinner, and Carl is very frustrated, but Lindsay seems more surprised. So we pick up right where we left off, Friday at 8:41 p.m. Carl's telling Lindsay that his stepdad wouldn't marry them, and he was nervous to tell her, but he should have told her right away. Also, just to note, the chef is still in the kitchen as far as
Oh
we know.
god.
And the dinner table is literally like, what the fuck is happening? So,
Uh, pure chaos for everybody else in the house. So confusing.
yeah. So Carl's like, okay, so Lou wouldn't marry us. Lou's against us. And Lindsay goes, no, I get it. Thank you so much. I'm clear. We don't need to beat the dead horse at this point. And Carl's like, yeah, but I want to support you because I care about you and love you. And Lindsay's like, that's so great. Can we go eat? Um,
Okay,
so
what did you think about
what?
Lindsay? Like, Lindsay didn't seem as concerned. I feel like Carl was more clear in this conversation, and she was just like, okay, and like, you're making this a big deal. And I was like, Lindsay, this kind of is a big deal if his parents are this concerned and don't want you guys to get married.
Oh, I'm opposite. I think, first of all, I think Lindsay's surprised. I don't think it's like hit her yet because
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't expecting this conversation. She had asked him
That's
point
true.
blank, what happened with Lou and your mom? And he said literally basically nothing. They just have concerns, which she addressed with the mom. So, like, I think she's just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, okay, like, what's happening? And then Carl's like, oh, by the way, Lou doesn't think we should get married because he would marry us at this point. So I think Lindsay's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't really know how to react. So let's just take a beat kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's
And
true.
I
Let's
think
just like move on and go
also,
with our night.
yeah, I think also, and we've talked about this before, when you tell like your friends or family like the bad things your partner does, you rarely tell the good things. You're just like venting about the bad. So I'm sure Lindsay's
Mm-hmm.
also like, this is why we just don't go to our parents. Like, they don't know our relationship. And if Carl, a grown man, is like, I still love and want to marry you, Lindsay's probably like, okay, so then
Okay,
do
your
that.
parents are just concerned. Like, we're good though.
Yeah. But Lindsay says in her interview, she's like, they said fucked up things about our marriage. And like, but why am I having to console Carl about it? Like, it's
Yeah, that's
weird.
so true. This
So I
Lindsay,
think,
that interview, Lindsay, with that like
yeah,
kind of, I don't want to call it a bob, that's her
the
post
hair.
breakup. Mm-hmm.
Mm, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think like she's just kind of shocked at this point. Like, she doesn't know how to take it. Like, what does he want from her?
Yeah.
I think he wanted her to get
That's true.
upset to then be like, this is what my parents were talking about. We shouldn't get married. Like, I really think he wants to make her mad to the point of him being like, this is why we shouldn't get married, and her break up with him. But she's just kind of like, I'm not sure how to
That's so true.
react
Like, and
at this point.
I think, like, kind of like subconsciously, he wants her to get mad to validate what his parents think is wrong. Like, oh, like she's just going to yell at me when somebody gives in my life gives me like feedback or is concerned about me. Like, she's just going to get mad. Like, she doesn't actually care about me.
Yeah, I don't, I think also if we ever see therapy present in this relationship, it's in this moment. Lindsay handles herself very well.
So well.
So well. And then she also says, like, again, this is why you don't tell your parents so they don't have concerns. I think your parents have a right to express any concerns that they have about the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
However, obviously it's usually different because you're not on camera. But like, I also
Yeah.
think the parents need to handle it a certain way. Like, I did think Lou was a little harsh in his delivery, but like, I have an
Mm-hmm.
old someone from college I used to know, and like I heard through the grapevine that she got engaged and her parents sat down with her and basically said like, look, we don't know if this is like the right move for you, but if you're saying this is the right move, we will hold all other like concerns. And she said this is
Yeah.
the right move, and they said, and that is that. Where like, I think
I
Carl
like
needed to
that.
kind of be like, this is it, no concern, like, this is what I want.
Yeah. Well, like clearly he's having doubts already, and his parents are just like validating those. But Carl also said on Watch What Happens Live that that conversation with his parents was filmed right before weekend 3, I think he said. So
Oh
like
my
it's also being
god.
edited differently, which I mean all shows are like they have the right to do that, but I think it's making it more dramatic, putting it later in quote unquote like the summer timeline. But this conversation happened earlier, basically like right after the double questioning
The
the like
drugs, yeah.
sobriety and stuff, which the questioning the sobriety makes sense to like talk to your parents about because
Yeah.
like he seeks support, in his sobriety through his parents. So I don't know. I they both suck. I continue to be on that front, but I'm getting more onto like I don't like Carl more and more as we go on, and I'm understanding Lindsay more and more as we go on. You know?
Well, you'll see later, but I would just like to, and I feel like I should open the episode and say that I am so sorry to Lindsay because I cannot believe this stupid ass man made me question my undying love for you for a few episodes. And yeah, I think you fucked up, but in the end, I'll always have your back. And I'm sorry I let a man come between us, and it will never happen again. I will never
Wait, that
doubt
was so
Lindsay
sweet,
again.
Alicia. I think we just
I
know who
feel
Lindsay
like,
is fully. Lindsay has shown us every
yeah,
side of herself, and like we just jump to conclusions because we know fully who Lindsay is. And then it's like, wow, we're really seeing like different parts of Carl, or like we're being reminded of parts of Carl we've seen over the years. And so I'm like, yeah, I really jumped to conclusions. Like
Lindsay
just
has
seeing, like
never
taking all of
claimed,
Lindsay's negative parts.
she's never claimed to be perfect, and we
No.
know her. We should trust. I
Mm-hmm.
have gone through 7 seasons absolutely fucking loving her. I can't believe I doubted her.
You doubted
Sure,
her.
we had a fuck up, but we can move forward, and I am so sorry. I'm dying love for you,
My
Sarah.
this
Ugh,
situation does not make me love Lindsay more, but I
I'm in it.
don't my like annoyance for her when this all went down is a lot lower than like
Then
fall of
Carl for
2023.
sure.
Yeah.
And in the summer of Barbie, at this point, how could we doubt a woman? Come on. All the women in this
That's so true.
house
You know
doing
what?
beautifully.
I should just be on the women's side no matter what in this Bravo sphere because they have everything stacked against them.
Truly. And then if you're wrong, it's like, well, who am I as a woman to
Oops.
doubt a woman? Like, it's just like, I'd
Yeah.
rather be wrong about a woman than be wrong about or like, I'd rather not support a man and then have them fuck up because it's like, duh,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
accidentally be on the wrong side of a man for once in his life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's okay. So we're women now. Norris is
Okay,
fuming, I bet.
I'm on Lindsay's side. I'm on Lindsay's side. I'm ready. I'm Team Lindsay.
Okay.
You convinced me. I'm here. I'm ready.
So dinner's over, but Carl and Lindsay come back and it's very awkward. So the group is like, can't wait for the astrology reading. And Gabby's like, you can ask specific questions if you want or put
Oh
out that
God.
energy. Yay. Okay, so Lindsay is obviously a little off, but she's handling it very well. But I would also be upset
Hmm.
if you just told me your parents don't want us to get married. I'm going to be a little off, but whatever.
I
So
appreciate
Jess,
Lindsay trying to like keep the night going. Like we've
yeah,
got some things ahead of her. One of her best friends is like hosting this night. Like let's just try and make the best of it, and we'll figure out the rest later.
exactly. And then Jesse's also a little off because his 5-year cancer checkup is on Tuesday, but also
Hmm.
Sierra called him a trash bag, but that's secondary because he also has felt something on his nut and he's really scared it would be cancer again, but also he doesn't know for sure. And he doesn't want to like scare anyone and share. This is like when you're really sick and you like what is it? WebMD your symptoms and then you're like, "Oh my
Oh
god."
yeah. You
And
like
you
start
like
to
freak out.
spiral.
Yeah.
I
So I get where
know.
Jesse
And
is
except like
too.
Jesse knows like what worst case scenario is, like
I
he's been
know,
through
which
the
is even
cancer journey, and I
scary.
I wanted to reach to the screen and just hug him, and also not to
Same.
make light of a situation, but I watched this episode with my mom because she's in town, and like when he was like, I felt something on my nut, I was like, Mom, he's a cancer survivor. I
Yeah,
was
mom,
like,
don't make
that's
a joke.
taken out of context. I was like, taken out
Mom,
of context, this is so weird to watch because like I was like, just let me explain at the commercial what's going on in this
you're like,
show. Because like
Mom,
this
don't make
first
a
like
nut
10 minutes,
joke.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Don't make a
I'm
nut
like, we got a
joke,
couple falling
Mom.
apart and Jesse like freaking out and
Touching
spiraling
himself.
with like no context if you've never seen the rest of the episodes.
Yeah. So then Kyle and Gabby check in with Carl. He says he has a lot in his head and he's overwhelmed. Great. So it's 9:21 p.m. Amanda and the girls, like Sierra and Paige, they check in with Lindsay, and Lindsay tells them like Carl was so upset telling her something that should make her very upset. Like she's like, Lou
Yeah.
said that he wouldn't marry us, and Paige is shook. She's like, what?
When she gives that gasp, I was like, this is why I love Paige. Like
I
she,
love
even if she's
Paige.
not talking, serves me everything I need.
I know. Amanda tries to like stand up for Carl and be like, Carl stood up for your relationship. And Lindsay's like, okay, fine, but this is why you don't tell your parents everything. And she's like, also, Carl came in defensive, like he was preparing for Lindsay to like explode and be aggressive towards him. So
Mm-hmm.
she's like, that also made the conversation just terrible.
You know what I'm thinking is like, it's like not telling your parents every little detail is prioritizing your partner above your parents, like needing to know everything. And I think
Yeah,
that's how
or
Lindsay
above
views it. And I
yourself.
never like fully viewed it like that. Like I'm pretty open with my family, but like my sister tells me a lot and I don't want to hear it. And I think it's because she like wants the support and I totally understand that, but you got to spread out the support, you know? Like you can't tell one person everything.
Yeah, and I
Everything
believe
negative.
if you're gonna get married to someone, you're putting you in a way like you should never put anyone above yourself, but also you're putting them in situations above yourself, right? Like I could go to my
Mhm.
parents and get their unwavering love and support, and that would be great for me, but terrible for my partner. So like I guess
It's like
not
great for
putting
you
them
short
above.
term, terrible for them
Yeah.
long term.
But it'd be like I don't want to get support while hurting you. Like it's about not hurting your partner
At the
because now
expense of your partner.
yeah, yeah. So like that's the issue. Okay, but let's keep
Yeah.
going. So it's 9:49 p.m. Um Jesse's a little sad that Sierra called him a trash bag. Um and Kyle and Wes do mention that Jesse's like very upset and they like kind of like giggle about
Hmm.
it, but they also don't know what Jesse's going through totally. So like that's
Yeah.
also fair. Okay, whatever. It's astrology time. Kyle goes first. Listen, I don't know fucking shit about this, but I'm gonna do my best to tell you what this lady
Alicia,
said.
I was like, I thought we were doing a whole chart reading and then these were tarot cards, and I was like, now I have to learn a whole new thing about astrology?
Yeah, I've gotten my tarot cards read by my friend's mom. She basically said I had pretty good cards, if I remember correctly. She was like, "These are great," and I was
Oh,
like, "Thanks so much." Couldn't tell you what they
I love
were,
that's the
but then
takeaway. I have pretty good
she read
cards.
she read my friend's fiance cards, and we're like, "Oh," I was like, "Haha, you're the worst." So that's all I know.
Oh,
Anyway,
God.
so Kyle goes first. He has past and present fire energy, but future is
That
temperance,
tracks.
which is about not going extreme on anything and finding a balance between partying and family. And this is where I went, this lady has seen the show. Like, this lady knows what's happening, right?
Yeah, but he needs it. Like, let's make sure the cards just tell him to simmer down, sir. Simmer
Amanda
down.
slipped this woman a 20 and was like, Carl doesn't need anything. Just like,
Yeah. She's
tell me what
like,
I need
I
him
mean, it's
to.
like, hey, I really want to move to New Jersey. Can you make the
Yeah.
cards like say that,
The next
please?
card was a card of New Jersey. And she's like, this is where you live. So
I'm
Wes's
dying.
reading is like all about happiness and enjoyment of life and living life to the fullest. Amanda gets the death card, which is about transformation and planting your own roots and deciding how how it should
Mm-hmm.
be for you. And again, I went, Gabby filled her in,
My God.
but
She like
it's
sent a
fine.
full bullet pointed list of everything going on this
Yeah.
summer and what this house needs to figure out.
Yeah,
Gabby's
yeah,
hitting
yeah,
the
for
beats
sure.
through the tarot cards.
I love it. Lindsay gets a card about like curveballs of life and looking forward. And Jesse gets like the Four of Tentacles, which he's like testicles. Very funny. And it's about not holding your emotions on your own. And Jesse says he had doubts, but this really hit home for him. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that could be me one day. Um, Paige goes up for like a yes or no question. This was baloney, right? She could move the crystal any way she wanted. No,
Alicia, okay, if you told me like I watched somebody do it and like I could really sense their hand, I swear that lady's hand was moving, like was moving that crystal. I was so annoyed. I was like, stop this right now.
the tarot card's fine because you're just flipping cards, but also she could say
Yeah,
anything, right? Like the
true.
death card, that could be about planting roots. That could be about like being a phoenix from the ashes. Like it could be anything, right?
Yeah, you could
This
like make up an interpretation.
Yeah, but this was fucking baloney. She just had
I
the
know.
crystal in her hand and was swinging. I don't know, whatever. Sorry if you're a believer. I guess I need to get my cards read or something. So Paige goes up for yes or no questions. She asks if she's getting engaged in 2024. She got yes. And then will her fiance move to New York? She also got yes. And I was like, both of
Okay,
those
I mean,
could be
it's
wrong.
2024 presently. When we're recording this, it is May 10th, 2024, and I'm like, all right, the clock already technically started, but I'm like, start our viewership clock. Like, I will be watching Paige's Instagram.
Okay, but Craig also knows that this is what was said. So he's
True.
probably
But
like,
here's the
I
thing.
could, it just, what?
What show do you think that they would get engaged on? They're not going to not put it on a show. Is it going to be at the end of the summer? Like, Summer House got greenlit for the 9th season. So, like, they are going to go into filming here in, like, a few months.
I don't know. Craig, no. If you know that your partner's expecting engagement, you could do it. This would be if I asked, am I getting engaged in 2024?
Yeah,
She
that's
said
true.
yes. And then I do get engaged because I'm not
But
dating
here's the
someone.
thing.
Oh,
It seems like
Craig.
Paige is the one who's like waiting. It seems like Craig is on the sidelines with the ring, ready to get down on one knee, and then he's just like looking for the like thumbs up from Paige. And I feel like this to me is giving Craig a thumbs up if you're asking these questions.
Who cares? And then, like, is he going to move to New York? Probably not. He owns a mansion in Charleston.
I think they're always
He's
going to
already
live a
half
dual
here.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, he's already half here. Whatever. I'm a skeptic, obviously. Kyle asks if they're going to party soon. And guess what? The crystal says yes. So who would have thought? Thank God we can just finally party. Okay, so I'm exhausted from that. Anyway.
Okay, buckle up because you're not even at the part you're most angry about.
I know. It's 11:32 p.m. The party continues. Paige tells Craig about her tarot card reading, and Craig's like, was there a person reading the cards? Which cracked me up because he clearly knows as much as I do. Could be a machine. So, Wes and Sierra are acting very cute. They do notice that their fellow Wolfpack member Jesse is acting very sad. But they decide to just go cuddle because they missed each other. And then Kyle and Carl talk.
Like, be friends with Jesse. Support him.
No, he's too sad for us. We're in love. Stop it. So Kyle and Carl talk. Carl says he is so fucked because of the conversation with his parents being so bad and they were so hard on her. And Kyle's like, look, if you want me to be a friend to you, you have to tell me the full picture. Like, I can't
So true.
give you an opinion.
I can't advise you without it. And this is where, and when somebody says, hey, I need all the info, this is where you can give them all the info.
Yeah, because you keep bringing it up. So it's like, okay,
yeah, you can't allude to it and then not say anything. And like, Kyle already hates Lindsay. So like, really, you're not going to destroy that relationship anymore. And it's different for your like one friend to dislike your like future wife potentially for the risk of you figuring it out. Like, this is the first time I really see Carl like sitting at that counter. He was like, I have a lot on my mind. I'm not okay. Like, he looked not okay. They're outside. There's no camera straight in their face. Kind of like a la Lindsay saying like, I didn't realize this was being recorded. Like, this is the surveillance footage. You can see like Carl is starting to spiral. And I think this is the first time he's really like, I don't want to do this, but how do I get out of this?
But Carl still, so he clearly wants out. He clearly wants Lindsay to end things with him so he doesn't have to be the one to do it. Right?
I don't necessarily think he's fully thinking through that. I just think he's like, I don't know how to remove myself from this situation. And I feel like, not that there's proof on camera, but he doesn't know how to like point to something specific because he's already kind of moved past everything that's still on his mind. He told her he is like, it feels like they've cleared the air, but he himself personally has not moved on.
Yeah, I don't know. Carl he gives me bad vibes. Even when Kyle's like giving the whole picture.
I do feel bad for him knowing that like he has to break up an engagement. Like, that does suck. Like, I feel for him in only that way of like, shit, how do I get out of this?
You get out of it like a man. You go to the person and you fucking end it.
I agree.
Like
I agree. I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine being in that situation.
I agree, but this constant bitching about it, he's really trying to be like, I'm the victim, when like there doesn't have to be a victim. You can just end the engagement and like it didn't work out and both of you suck. But the more you try to like
Yeah.
convince me that you're the victim, the more you will be the villain in my
You
eyes.
know what? He's sitting at that fork in the road of the Sandoval to either take the Sandoval path and be a little bitch and like and make yourself the victim and like double down on things and whatever, or just
Yeah.
like communicate and be blunt and just say what you need to say and move on with your life and go. It's going to be a terrible moment and then be able to move on fresh and clear. And
Yes.
we will see which
It's
path he takes, because right now
it's
he's
what
leaning towards more of a Sandoval route.
It's what Sheena said. You just break up. You look them in the eye and
Mm-hmm.
you like a person, just break up with them and you let her friends know and we will deal with it. But you do not keep
Yeah.
doing this. And he should have ended the engagement already. But the longer he keeps delaying it, right? Like he's like, "Oh, my parents don't want me to get married. I'm bitching about Lindsay, but
Yeah.
I'm going to show up at her bridal shower with flowers. Like I'm the hero and I'm the doting husband." And like
Yeah.
I really think he's trying to make her such the villain so that he has an excuse to dump her and be like, this is why. But like
Yeah.
he
He
wants
needs
to come
one
out
final blow up from
unscathed.
her.
Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't even tell Kyle. Like when Kyle goes, "Give me the whole picture." He just said, "Oh, my parents were literally so hard on her." Like the fuck? Tell us what more. Like from what I saw, yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't great, but I don't think that they straight up were like,
That's
"She's a bitch. Don't marry her."
that's the thing. That's not the one moment where you decide that you no longer want to be in this engagement. So like, give him all the points.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. And even Kyle is like, dude, you need to take care of your anxiety. Like, it's getting the best of you today.
Hmm.
And Kyle tells us, like, he's had concerns, but he hasn't voiced them. But there's probably more to the story. Like, there
Yeah.
has to be.
For
So,
me, this hinges. I keep saying this hinges on that final conversation. I feel like that will tell me a lot. And I'm giving Carl more grace than I should on like letting it right on that. But
I can't.
I am unwell waiting for this
I
like
can't.
final episode.
This episode drove me crazy. How dare you bitch to the whole house about how I'm not right and I'm terrible and
Hmm.
blah. Like he tells all the boys how and we'll get there, but like I'm the villain. He's telling Kyle like, "Oh, my parents hate her, blah blah blah." But like you're not then telling me still the whole story, because what he told
Yes,
Lindsay wasn't like, "Oh, my parents absolutely hate you. They were so hard on you. Like we should discuss this." And you've already lied once
because that's not.
before.
Yeah.
Like he's driving me nuts, this kid. Oh my god. I'm so mad. Okay, so it's not even the worst part still. So we all go to
I
bed.
know.
We wake up Saturday at 7:57. Carl notably kisses Lindsay on the cheek and says, "I'm going to go to Barry's." So he's
Hmm.
back to being loving and doting. And all the boys go work out except Wes, because he's like, A, I'm not going to work out. And B, I'm not going to leave Sierra in my bed in the morning. Haha.
I
And
loved
then,
it. I'm falling back in love with them again. I'm like, okay, all
me
right. I
too.
need them.
I'm in.
All the things are pointing that they're not together, but I need them to be together.
I would just like to say I still love Wes so much, but I think I might be a Jesse girl. I love
Ooh,
him.
he's
He's
growing on
really
you.
grown
I
on
love
me.
that.
He's grown on me a lot. I love the surprise of me like not loving Jesse, and now I'm like obsessed with him. I can't stop
Well,
thinking
he's like
about him. Anyway,
West shot to stardom, and then like Jesse's a slow burn. I am
I
really
love a
I'm
slow
loving
burn, and he's a
Jesse.
Chicago
Hmm.
boy, and I love that. Oh, I'm obsessed. Anyway, okay, so Danielle, Lindsay, and Gabby go get some bagels. So then it leaves Amanda and Paige with the house to themselves, and they're like, "Yes, this is the best day of my life." So they talk about how the astrologer was so spot on, especially how Amanda got told to like do her own thing, and she's really been thinking about what she could do on her own, and she thinks it's time to bring it up to Kyle since he's like startup king, so she would want his help and support on all this.
Hmm.
So then Kyle comes back with a coffee for Amanda, but not for Paige, and no food. So like this
No,
coffee is
he's no
fucking
Andrea.
useless.
Yeah.
Absolutely
What
not.
the hell are you
And
doing?
so it's time for breakfast. Okay, and then at 11:41, Carl comes back late from Barry's because he was talking to some guy who's in the non-alcoholic business, and Lindsay like catches him at the door and is like, "Hey, how'd it go? Like talking to that person?" And Carl goes, "It was very helpful." And Lindsay's like, "Okay."
I
So
was like, why aren't you
great.
saying more? Like, I think she was so excited to see him. Like, she brought the energy that I've been dying for her to bring in these, like, awkward, forced camera conversations, about his like flailing career, And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
like I love this energy. She's like, what, like, yay, this is a fun lead. Like, tell me more. And he's like, it went great. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
joking, right? That's all you're going to
This is
give her?
equivalent to when like a kid comes back from school and you go, "How was your day?" and they go, "Fine." What did you learn? Nothing.
Such a
And you're
good
like, "Oh,
comparison. Such
okay,
a good
like
comparison.
fuck you, kid." Yeah, whatever. So then Carl tells us that he wants to focus on the non-alcoholic products and the sober industry, and he wants
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay to be supportive, but she thinks she's limiting himself according to him. And I went, well, a sober bar is really limiting yourself, but non-alc products are very like that's wide. That could go a lot of places. So you're not limiting. You
Well,
just need to
I
find a
mean,
lane.
that's the thing. Like, it's okay. Here's the thing. Like, everything she says, he is taking so negatively. It is true. If you are just going to focus on non-alc, that is limiting you to other types of businesses that you can be a part of. And like, that's okay if you want to be
Yes.
super niche, but then you've got to really hone in on that and like blow that out and be like such a pillar in the non-alc space.
Oh my God, we will get there. Okay, so it's 12:14 p.m. So it's Loverboy o'clock, if you get what I'm saying. So we're gonna have a pool day. And Jesse sits down with Sierra and Amanda. He makes a joke about how he's celibate after last night. And Sierra's like, "Hey, are you okay? Because I was pretty mean to you last night." And Jesse's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, the only mean part was when you told me I was a trash bag and that you wouldn't introduce me to any of your friends." Sarah's like, "Yeah, that sucked of me, and I'm so sorry." It just feels like you start looking for the next person before you give your current person a shot. And Jesse's like, "No, totally get that." So they apologize. Amanda's like, "You guys should kiss and make up." And Sierra's like, "Hey, Wes, can I kiss Jesse?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she goes, "On the lips?" And he goes, "Yeah, what am I, like a bitch?" Like, fucking do it. And so they kiss on the lips. Of course, it's just like a peck. But Sierra's
Yeah.
like, "Wow, I have such a cool boyfriend." And everyone's like, "Boyfriend?"
Ooh.
And then Jesse's like, "Wow, I kissed Wes's girlfriend." This was
Wait,
all fun. I loved.
I was like, okay, please call him your boyfriend more. Like, I need more and more evidence that this is like becoming a real thing. I need this to happen. Keep it
Is
going.
it is it bad I'm nervous that she's not going to sleep with him? And I'm like, "Just sleep with him, do it, make babies, make love. I
That's
love
the
it." And
thing. I'm like, I feel like you're giving me hope of something and then you're just gonna rip it away from me.
just sleep with him already. I want to know. I want to know if it was good or not. Were there fireworks? I just need
True.
everything. Okay, so
That's the thing. I need all the details. I feel like Sarah's my girlfriend going through this, and I'm excited for her, and I want it to happen, and I want all the details from her, like
yeah,
talking
I'm
head
like, do it
interview.
already. Like, test, see if it's worth it. Is he good in bed? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Beep. Okay, so it's 12:22 p.m. So we get Lindsay and Carl in the kitchen. It's just them. And Lindsay's like, "Hey, tell me everything. I want to know about like you're meeting with this non-alc guy." And
Hmm.
Carl says he wants to have something figured out job-wise by end of summer. So he's working on that, and he's really thinking the lover boy opportunity could be a good idea for him. And Lindsay's like, "Oh, does Kyle have like a vision for you re-entering his
Hmm.
company?" And Carl says there have been a few conversations, but nothing's really written, which I think Kyle has an idea. He said he told Carl and was like, "Depending on how involved you want to get, we would love your opinion on like the branding and
Yes. I
the
have like
flavors."
yeah, like Kyle has it seems like Kyle's clear ideas on where he different, I guess, levels that like Carl could participate in, based on what he wants to be a part of. And it kind of feels like the ball is in Carl's court to be like, all right,
Yes.
here is how much involvement I want. And Kyle's like, here's then what I'll be able to give you on like rev share or like salary or
Yes.
whatever. So, like, it's very open, but Carl needs to kind of do some of the legwork in his own fucking career to make this happen.
Agreed. Okay, so Carl says this is an obvious thing to lean into. And Lindsay's like, yeah, I mean, obviously it's
Mm-hmm.
like a very comfortable thing. Like you've already know this
Agreed.
company and you're friends with the owners. It'd be like she compares it to going back to an ex, which I agree it would be very
Which
similar. It's an ex
I
company
know,
that
but
you've been
that's
to.
I feel like using that language is not helpful because then it kind of like it feels a little bit more charged, like on and it's like it feels more negative for Carl to return to his best friend's company who he has an investment in. So I'm like, oh,
Okay, but
Liz, don't compare
no,
to
I'm
that.
not
But I
gonna.
understand the
No,
comparison.
no, no. Boo you. No, I'm not gonna pander my thoughts for fucking Carl and his grown ass. No, that's what it is. You had a tumultuous relationship with this company.
True.
You were very unhappy. You left. That's similar to leaving a relationship you're not happy in. And then you're going to go back because it is comfortable. Carl has taken 8 months off because it's been so
And
tumultuous
has
to his
done nothing.
emotion. He's
Yeah.
going to go back to that
So
without really
true.
thinking. So Lindsay's like, also, how partners feel about work, they bring that home. Like my own
Thousand
dad was
percent.
he was very unhappy in his job for like 5 years, and my mom felt that, and she was like, I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. So Lindsay
I
is
know. And
also saying
a
like,
big
you're gonna
problem,
bring this back.
a big problem with the Loverboy situation is that like the original like version 1 is that Carl was trying to like navigate being like a sales, I forget his actual title, but like sales director and being like the influencer at the event. And so without a clear, job title and salary and like having the details actually worked out, it's like Carl kind of got taken advantage of, but also Carl didn't speak up for himself. And so I think Lindsay's like, let's not do that again. Like, you need to do this so differently, and which
Yes.
is not Carl's like nature, to be honest, clearly.
No. So I think Lindsay's fine being like, I'm asking these questions because you're gonna bring it back. Like
Yes.
Lindsay was
Her
with
concern
him,
is
seeing
very
him
valid.
miserable. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
Carl says he feels like this is a good opportunity and him and Kyle are in a good place again. And it's a company he's already a massive part in. He's also very stressed from last night and he's still trying to figure this out. So Lindsay's like, okay, if you're so stressed, is there anything I can take off your plate so you're not overwhelmed? And he goes, I
I
just
love that
need
she
your,
said that.
yeah, it was great. And he says, I just need your positivity and support. And Lindsay's like, okay, I'm just asking questions. I'm not like even giving my opinion. And Carl goes, can
Yeah.
you listen for a second? And I was like, sir, no. My
When
answer
he,
to you
because
is
he said it
no.
like 4 times, he was interrupting her,
Yeah. Can
responding
you
to
listen for a
him,
second?
saying, can you just
Yeah.
listen for a second?
Can you listen for a second?
Excuse me.
No. My answer to you
I'm
is now
happy
no.
I'm happy he said what he needed, like, hey, I just need you to be positive. Like, I don't need the
Yeah.
questions. But like it starts to snap at her. And I'm like, okay, you gotta once you give that feedback, you gotta give her time to then like a course correct and adjust how she's gonna respond to you. But like,
Well, if he doesn't want questions, he should say, I don't want you to question me.
yeah.
He doesn't say that. He says, I just need your positivity and support. Okay, I'm just asking questions. Like, you're not even being
Hmm.
specific on what you want.
That's true. That's so true. I feel like
Like,
this is how
that's
therapy goes for them though. Like he like gives a quote unquote like thing that he needs but isn't specific, and like Lindsay doesn't know how to read it. Like you have to be so direct with her.
that's like when someone's telling you something and you go, do you want me to just listen or do you want advice? Right? Like,
Mhm.
it needs to be so specific. You need to like share your needs. And he's like, I just need you
Yeah.
to give me a big old smile. Like, what the fuck is that? So
A hip
Carl
hip
says,
hooray.
my God, Carl says he brought up different things and he never feels Lindsay's support, just her criticism. And Lindsay says, like, look, I'm not a yes person. I'm realistic and I'm practical.
Mhm.
And like, for 8 months, you've had no job because Loverboy took such an emotional toll. And so, of course, like, Lindsay's going to ask if this is the right choice on an emotional level for you. And I
Yeah.
agree. Lindsay is a very practical and realistic person. We've never seen someone be like, "Oh, I just got a new opportunity." And her be like, "That's amazing. I have zero questions for you." Like she's always like,
Yeah.
"Let's think the logistics," cuz she's owned a company.
And
Like
I
she
think
gets
just
it.
people's history with her then colors her as being like negative because they like she is so blunt with things. And so like I these two just communicate so differently. like every episode I'm like, thank God they didn't get married, because like you guys don't know how to interact with each other where you can like read things similarly.
I
Like
I
Carl is reading
agree.
this
Yeah.
as like harsh and that she's like attacking him, and it's like, okay, but that's not her intent. And so if they were to ever get married, how do you find a middle ground? But they don't even know how to communicate that to like, and also why weren't we doing this 8 months ago when you probably felt like Carl was reading this for 8 months like this? Why didn't you just like handle this 8 months ago?
I agree with whoever said Carl is attracted to strong women, but he doesn't know how to handle them. Like he
Yeah.
truly wants someone who he'll be like, "Oh my god, I just bought like 5 cars." And they'll be like, "Yay, now we have 5 cars." He doesn't want someone who's going to be like, "Why the fuck did you spend that money and what's the point of this?"
You know what? I saw a TikTok. I've been seeing this girl do reading scripts, and she like stitches those stupid men videos who are like, I want a girl who like doesn't really want to go out, wants to stay home, and then she'll read like a script from a like TV show or movie as a response. But it's basically like showing those guys that like everything that you say you want, you don't, because then you're gonna be mad at me if I don't want to go out with your friends. But you wanted the girl who wants to stay home.
Yeah, you want the girl who stays home. You want the girl who doesn't wear makeup. You want the girl who's so chill, but then she
Yeah.
doesn't put in a lot of effort into her everyday wife and she's or life and she's not wearing a dress when she cooks you dinner and you're like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
That's this.
It's the
That's this
epitome.
dude.
Yes, it's the epitome of the Barbie movie. Like I have to be everything at all times, but I can't be too much of one thing.
Yeah. And fucking again, he knew Lindsay. Like
Yep.
it's not like they just met and they're getting married. Like he knows who she is. And he's like, "Can you be
Yeah.
someone different?" No, bitch.
Can
Oh my god! When
you
I
be
tell you,
nice?
I'm enraged. Enraged. Okay, and we're not even done. Okay, so Carl says that when Lindsay plays devil's advocate, it comes across as like her telling him he shouldn't do something. And Lindsay goes, "Look, if you don't
Which
want me to ask
that's feedback
questions,
he needs to give her. Yeah.
fine." So she goes, "If you don't want me to ask questions, I won't ask questions." And Carl goes, "Now you're getting defensive. It's impossible." And I was like,
Oh my
"Sir, you
God.
just gave her feedback." And she said, "Okay, then I won't do that thing."
Yeah.
You're
This
she's
is where
getting
he's
defensive
baiting her
because you're
into a
coming at
fight.
her. Yes, oh my God.
Yes.
And so Carl says, he's really great at sales. And Lindsay's like, "I never said you weren't good at sales. Like, why are we arguing about this?" And she goes, point blank, she goes, "What do you need from me?" And he goes, "I need you to be excited and pumped about these incredible opportunities to make me money." And he says he has an investment in Loverboy. Does Lindsay have something like that for herself? And Lindsay,
I was like,
that
that
was
is so
so
rude.
rude. That was so
And like,
rude.
he basically just told her, like, I need you to be a cheerleader on my side, basically shut up and throw some pom-poms around. No, this is not Lindsay.
Literally. Then go date the cheerleader, you fucking jabroni. Get out of here. Oh my God, I have my hands in fists right now. Like, I'm so mad. Okay, so Lindsay says, like, if you're making the decision to work with Loverboy, then that's fine. And Carl's like, "I don't want you to, like, I don't want to be upset with you, or I don't want you to be upset with this." And Lindsay goes, "I'm not upset, but as your partner, it's my job to ask these questions." And Lindsay says she's not going to be
Yep.
excited about everything, but it's not criticizing, it's asking the questions and putting everything on the table. And Carl says, quote, "Okay, well, don't make this about you, like you're the victim now."
Oh, I was like, what? How was she the victim in this?
Oh
But
my
you
God.
have attacked her. You have attacked her, so she's allowed to be a little upset, because if this conversation was just about Carl and him saying like, "Hey, I need you to be a cheerleader," and he said nothing about her being defensive and didn't attack her like business investments and stuff like that, then yeah, okay, you could have said this comment if she got defensive for no reason, but you put her on the defensive and now you're mad she's defensive.
But also, can you imagine if he's like, "Hey, I met with this non-out guy," and she said, "Okay, cool," and didn't ask him any questions, how upset he would also be? Like,
Yeah.
he wants out of this relationship so bad, but he does not want to be the one to fucking end it. So he again is trying to make her seem like the victim. This is like what Sandoval is currently trying to do and be like, I'm actually not the bad guy, it's her.
How
That's
dare
what
you
he's
respond?
doing. Yes. He's like, how dare you have an opinion? How dare you not just be my cheerleader? How dare you like not have investments like I do? Like, why are you coming at me? And she's like, I've supported you for 8 months, you bitch. Anything she does is just wrong.
Will be, yeah.
So Lindsay goes, okay, I'm gonna go cry now. And I thought she was being kind of sarcastic, but she really is emotional. But Carl's like,
Yeah,
why are you gonna go cry
and then
cry and make this about yourself?
He uses that again. And then she's like, you've ruined my like pool day, my boat day. And he's like, it's not your pool day. It's not your boat day. I'm like, it is her day though. Every day is her own day.
Like, yeah, it's my day. You've ruined my day. And I was going to spend it at the pool. It was my pool day. You fucking loser. And then she's obviously also very upset. She's like, I'm trying to be supportive. I'm trying to ask you questions, but like, you just want my unquestioning support. And that's not who I am. Like, I can't give you that.
He wants Lindsay to show up with tape on her mouth and pom-poms and be like, woo.
Carl is such a fucking dick.
What?
Like, oh my God. I hope he never finds peace. Like, I'm so mad. Everything bad I wished upon
I'm so
Lala,
thankful.
This.
Yeah. I'm so thankful he called this off for her. That, like, he, in a sense,
yeah.
A lot of, I know, what's her name? Oh, Whitney Port's husband, like, talked about this on their, like, rewatch show, that, like, to be honest, a villain sets up a hero so well. You have to go through the worst moment of your life to like have the best moment of your life on TV. And I feel like we all jumped to the conclusion that Lindsay was like in the wrong, or like Lindsay sucks.
Which
or
I'm
like
so sorry for. Never again.
But like, honestly, like Lindsay is like a phoenix rising from the ashes from this a little bit. Like, you know, I feel like weirdly the like terrible response we've given to her about like things that she did wrong, you know, like she did do things wrong in this situation, but she's like it's the slow burn of like Lindsay becoming the hero, which is like actually making me fall in love with her more. You know, like you could never throw Lindsay on me and just be like, love her. I'm going to have to fall in love with her for all of her flaws and everything.
Yeah, like this was so ridiculous. And to quote Lala from Vanderpump Rules season 10 reunion, when she says, thank God he did this to you. Thank God he broke up with you, because you would have to be stuck with that for the rest of your life and you don't deserve that. Like, thank God he did this for you, Lindsay. Thank God. Oh my God. There's no mercy on men this episode. I want everyone to know. Okay, so it's 12:54. Lindsay's very clearly upset. Carl goes outside. He sits with all the boys. Lindsay comes outside and joins all the girls. So they have 2 separate conversations where they each tell their own, you know, side of the story.
Okay,
so with the girls,
I love Lindsay with the girls. It's giving me like I love this for her. I'm taking that as the positive moment. Like in the summer of Barbie, this is what we needed on Vanderpump Rules. Let's go, girls.
Yeah. Didn't Lindsay post and was like, this is what I got out of this summer? And it was a picture with all the girls. That's this.
Yes, all the girls at her bridal shower, but it wasn't like to exclude Paige. It was just like, here's what I gained out of the summer, you know?
Yeah, but shout out Paige too, who has said she backs Lindsay on this openly. She said it
1,000%.
So with the girls, Amanda says like Carl just feels like Lindsay's questioning him. And Lindsay says like, I'm not gonna just not ask questions though about what he's doing. And all of them agree with that. And Sierra's like, God, men are so fragile, which we totally see later in the episode too. Men are just the fucking worst. They can't handle anything.
My God.
So then we cut to the boys and Carl's like, oh, Lindsay has so many opinions. She compared Loverboy to going back to an ex. And Kyle says, Lindsay's not pointing Carl down a path. She's just closing doors. And I go, it's not fucking Lindsay's job to point him down a path. But it's her job to be like, is this the right path for you? Are you sure?
Is this the right path for us?
Yeah. What the fuck? It's not your woman's job to fucking tell you where to go. Oh my God.
And here's the thing. If Carl really, really cared about Loverboy so much, or like the ex-boyfriend comment hurt him so much, he needs to express those things. Like, I don't like the comparison to an ex-boyfriend, because then if I was Carl, because then it makes it harder, I feel like, to choose the path I want. Like, clearly Carl wants to do that. But then, like, fucking say something and stick up for what you want. Have a fucking backbone about your own career.
Yeah, don't be like, oh, Lindsay just keeps shutting down my career
Lindsay
ideas.
called you an ex-boyfriend.
If you were
Come
passionate
on,
about
grow
something,
up.
say you're gonna do this. You're 40. Be like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like,
And guess
grow
what?
up.
I bet his conviction in wanting to go back to Loverboy would actually make her, like, calmer and, like,
Yeah, kind of attracted to
it
him,
would
no?
it would give her, like, the trust and, like, this is, like, a path for you. And then I feel like you were just about to say attracted to him. Like, it would, the drive, she wants that. Like, fight for what you want. Have passion.
Yeah, he's such a fucking bitch. So the girls, we cut back to them, and Amanda says all of Lindsay's concerns are valid, especially if you're getting married to someone. It makes sense to make sure they're making the right decision for you, too.
Yep.
And we cut back to the boys, and Carl's like, Lindsay thinks she's being supportive by asking questions, but it doesn't feel like support. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, we definitely just need to be your cheerleader, I guess. And so cut back to the girls. Lindsay says she's a little concerned that their fires also don't match. Like, right, she's such a go-getter and he's taken 8 months and he's very unsure of all his moves. And Paige also says that's a lot of stress to be the one always in control because that's what it's going to be like for the rest of your relationship. And Sierra says it's also not sexy to date someone who never initiates or leads the ship. Like, they're always just the passenger princess. Which I agree.
Oh my God, Carl,
no
the
wonder they're
passenger
not hooking
princess.
No wonder they're not having sex. So then, cut back to the boys, and Carl's like, my advice is to break up with Sierra and stay single as me and Kyle drown. And I'm like, you're rude. You're rude. You're rude.
Don't you dare put this on other people.
You're rude. And Jesse, in his interview, he's like, look, I think it's fair of Lindsay to question what Carl's doing for the rest of his life. And he goes, it's probably frustrating for Carl to get shut down with every idea, but like Lindsay, rightfully so, is concerned. And I was like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. So back to the girls. Lindsay says, thank you for letting me vent. And the girls are all like, oh my God, who would have thought? Like, this is us. This is our summer. The summer of Barbie strikes again. We're obsessed.
To the girls.
So it's 2:24 p.m. It's time to get ready to leave the boat. And Lindsay and Carl are not talking. Also, they all have all these amazing.
So awkward.
So awkward. They have amazing boat day outfits, which I would just like to say my boat day outfit is like an old t-shirt and basketball shorts. So I need to.
That's the thing. Mine's those like old school tanks that we wore in college, and like a massive one, and like my swimsuit, and like the oldest flip flops I have. So
yeah,
I'm not looking like this on
outfit. A boat. Maybe it's like oceans versus lake houses. You know, I don't know.
And Midwest versus East Coast bougie ass Hamptons.
It's different. So it's 4:40 p.m. We're on the boat. None of the girls want to get in the water, which made me upset because I totally want to do one of those water bob things that they were doing. That looks so fun.
Again, I was watching this with my mom. I was like, Mom, they are on a pontoon, which is so weird for them. And 2, they never get in the water. I was like, what is happening? These Midwest boys are changing everything.
You gotta get in the water, you know? So Kyle loses his shorts on one of the bobs. I forget what they're called. They're in the deck all the time.
Alicia, he took them off, put them in like I don't know what to call that thing, but it was like a netted thing that you could kind of like sit on so you could like be in the water, but not.
Right.
And they must have like slowly floated off. Well, they've like floated off of the like netted thing and like sank, I think, in the water. So it's like he like took them off and put them in like kind of what I would have thought also was a protected area, and then he comes back and he's like, wait, where the fuck are my shorts?
Yeah, I thought it was like at first I was like, oh, he just took them off to be funny, but then I was like, did he lose them? Like what? Because I saw it was like an accidental losing thing. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but luckily Sierra has a pair of shorts and they look really good on Kyle, so he would keep partying.
The way he can pull off anything kind of annoys me, but it's such a funny bit.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. So it's now so Sierra takes a little nap on the boat, which is it's the best to nap on a boat. Anyway, so it's 7:27 p.m. Wes tells Paige that on Tuesday he's gonna surprise Sierra with a horseback ride. And Paige is like, that's so great because Sierra wants to do that.
Mhm.
But also Paige is like, are you texting other girls? I heard from Lindsay.
Yeah, let's just get down to it. Lindsay told me everything, so tell me your side.
I love that Paige name drops too, because she's like, you can't fucking deny it, because Lindsay's also crazy and we'll both kill you. So what's up? What's going on? Like, imagine if it was like Amanda. Wes could easily be like, Amanda, I didn't say that. But no, not with Lindsay. Lindsay will kill him.
No,
2 seconds.
everybody takes Lindsay's word seriously, except for Carl.
Yeah, fucking yeah. So Wes says he does have plenty of flirtatious relationships and options, but he isn't seeing or sleeping with other girls. He's just talking to other people. And he does think it's weird to be exclusive with someone he isn't like sleeping with, and he hasn't had that conversation with Sierra yet. So he doesn't know if he wants to have it with Paige, but he basically tells her, like, I don't want to hurt Sierra. We're just like still feeling it out. Also,
all valid points. I am back on West's side.
Agreed. So Wes also has commitment issues like I do, and relationships are scary because you either get married or you break up. And both those things are not okay with me. So
or you just get a whole bunch of emotional trauma in both.
Yeah, either way, you're fucked, you know? So anyway, so Paige says Sierra is having so much fun with him and she's such a catch. But Paige does say, like, look, some girls say they'll kill you if you're their best friend. Like, I genuinely will kill you. That's how I am too. I have a talk with all my friends' boyfriends, and I literally will always be like, if you hurt my friend, I will actually fucking kill you. And I know how I would do it too. So that's the end. So I'm Paige in this. I'll kill you no matter what. So it is 7:39 p.m. Danielle's driving the ship, almost crashes our boat. But it's okay. We don't die. But you know what does happen is Amanda and Kyle have a talk. And Amanda is like, hey, did you believe in the tarot cards? and she's like, it was pretty true what they said for me because like I've been trying to find my identity outside of you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Amanda says that she's been thinking and she's been so supportive of Kyle's dream. And Kyle's like, I thought it was our dream. And Amanda's like, no, Loverboy is your dream.
Yeah.
But Amanda doesn't want to walk away from Loverboy, but she does want to do something for herself because she's always been identified as like Kyle's girlfriend and then fiance and then wife.
It's like, I want something for myself.
Yeah. And then Kyle's like, sorry, it sounds like that's a bad thing. And Amanda's like, no, it's just like you have a very big personality. And Kyle goes, I want to be supportive, but I want you to be supportive of me. And Amanda goes, I'm not leaving. I just need to be more selfish for myself because Amanda does bring up how she quit her job to join Loverboy and be like Kyle's right-hand woman, all this stuff so that Kyle can achieve his goals. And Kyle says, and I still haven't achieved them yet, so I need more support.
Like,
and
what?
I was like, what? So then he shares with us.
Came to this conversation ready to support or like seeking support from you because she has always supported you. And your response is, no, I need more. We can't be on you yet because I need even more from you. Actually, you're not doing enough. How selfish.
Yeah. So that's crazy. And he does have a whole fucking company, but he's like, oh, my dreams aren't made because they aren't profitable this year because they raised headcount and expenses, which fucking happens.
Alicia, yeah, but like my mom is in food manufacturing. It's obviously different than the alcohol business. But when he was like, we've lost $1.5 million, my mom goes, how? Like, you are doing something seriously wrong. And I was like, listen, not every company can grow at the rate he is trying to grow it. Like, I'm so concerned for him on many levels. But like, why are you blaming this on Amanda?
I also think you've been profitable for many years. Like most companies aren't profitable when they first start out. So if this is your first non-profitable year, and on top of that, we're just hitting summer. So like that's when I would think most people buy Loverboy is like the
Well, he
summertime.
was saying that they're not buying it in summer, and so that is even more concerning because like they're
Ugh,
not going to
that's
buy it as
rough.
much in the winter. So like I understand that, but again, Amanda's saying, "Hey, I want to have a passion project," and your response is to talk numbers and business. Like, be a husband. Stop being a CEO for a minute.
Yeah. So Kyle's like, why would you bail when we're struggling? And Kyle also tells Amanda that he needs her help. And she doesn't get out of bed sometimes to help with Loverboy. And that really hurts him. And Amanda goes,
I was
maybe,
so
oh
angry
my
when
God,
he
he's
said
such a
that.
dick. I know. Amanda goes,
Hmm.
maybe I need to get remotivated on something that I'm passionate about. And
Yeah,
Kyle goes,
like
look,
I need something to bring the creativity back to my day job. Like I'm not, she
yeah.
keeps saying, like, I'm not leaving. I just need something.
I also think she's passionate about Loverboy because of Kyle. But if it wasn't for
Yeah.
Kyle, this would just be a job
This
for
would
him.
not, she would have never like fell into this. Yeah, I agree.
No. Okay, and then Kyle is like, I need your help more than ever, or else the last 5 years was a complete waste of time. And I
Oh my
went, divorce,
God.
divorce,
Like
divorce,
he just, it
end
keeps
it.
getting worse. He's already not supportive, but then he like makes her feel guilty, like as if this is her passion project and she's giving up on it.
It's all about him. Again, it's all about I don't
I
want to
hate
move
him.
out of the city. I don't want to be lonely.
You're ruining my dream. Like you were ruining the last 5 years. Fuck you.
I don't want to be trapped in the house with just you. I want to go out. I want to have Loverboy be number one company. I want you to work for me. Like, I'm done. I hate men. Okay.
I absolutely
So
agree.
Amanda says again, she's not quitting or leaving, but can for once it not be all about Kyle. And he continues to
No,
make
to
it
him, no, I
all
can't.
about himself. He continues to talk about how stressed he is and how he needs her to stand again, be my cute little cheerleader on the side. Just do it.
Ugh.
And so she basically is like, fine. And she leaves. She's like, I'm going to go pee. Bye. And he's like,
She's
oh,
like, I'm not
now she's
partaking in
mad at
this. Like,
me.
you can fuck right off.
Oh my God. That's how I feel. Okay. So we go back to the house. Kyle is so mad. No one can get through this door. Like, it's just a fucking shit show. But the best part is, like, the randos, like, Danielle doesn't know why anyone's fighting. She's just like,
No.
here.
People
Yeah.
are just
So
like, it's been a
Danielle hasn't
long
said one
day.
word.
Obviously, there's tension. Like, Danielle and like Carla are like just sitting outside. Like, everybody's like just exhausted, but like nobody knows
Yeah.
what's happening in any
So
couple.
we're out. So we cut back to outside, and Wes and Jesse off camera, but like they're still mic'd, obviously. Wes checks
Oh,
in with him and is like, hey, like you're off. Are you okay? And Jesse says he's scared for his appointment and he gets really emotional and he starts crying. And I started
my
crying.
heart.
I know. And Jesse's just so scared. And Wes is like so comforting to be like, it's okay. You've got
And
this.
it's
Like,
weird
it's
to go from
stressful.
like one emotion of just pure rage with Kyle into like
I know.
fear and like sadness. And I'm just like I'm on the fritz of my emotions at the tail end of this episode. And I'm like, my blood
Bravo's
is just
the
pumping.
Bravo's the reason I'm in therapy. I go from like rage to oh my God, I love these men.
Like,
I'm just enraged.
I'm like, this is so sweet, but so sad and just wholesome in the weirdest way. And then of course we have to go back to the rage
We end with
fest.
rage.
Jesus.
Yeah, so basically, I think it's time. This is just my opinion. I think it's time for Carl and Kyle to get fucked and get off my TV screen. But if Wes and Jesse want to stay forever, I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. They can like bring in some new friends and we can get into a new era of Summer House because I'm done with having rageful men on my screen across the
I'm
board.
done. But Wes basically is like, I have your back, Jesse. And Jesse feels better. I think he needed to just like tell someone about why he's stressed. So it's very cute. Everyone does notice that
Mm-hmm.
like when they come in, Sierra was like, what were you guys doing outside? But like if
Yeah.
Wes doesn't tell too much. He's just like, I did need to cry. And like I like how the group didn't pester Jesse. They were very just
I
like, we have chicken nuggets for
know.
you. It was cute. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so Amanda is like, so the group is like at the table. So Amanda's in the kitchen near like where the coffee is, like at the far side of the counter. And Kyle like comes up behind her to check in and he's like, "Hey, I wasn't like not listening to you." And Amanda's like, "Look, I'm not down to talk right now. Like
Yeah.
it's not the time." And Kyle says, "This doesn't have to be a prolonged thing. Our business is just like a lot of stress." And he apologizes for being concerned for, and then he like kind of like doesn't finish. And Amanda goes, "Yourself." And that makes
Which
Kyle
I
what?
think he
Yeah.
was going to say like our family, because he has this idea that it's like he's doing this for the family and he's building a future. And while I love that passion, he's acting like he's the only one working for their family and their future. And that's what bothers me. Like, but to Amanda, it's like, this is for you. I mean, yes, it inevitably is for their family and their future because like you're partners, but like these are choices for you and what you want in the direction of our family that you want to take. So this
But
is
like
for you, even if the money benefits our family.
But like in a weird way too, he's not concerned about their family because he doesn't want to start having a family. He doesn't want to move to the suburbs. He doesn't want to make all
That's
these steps
true. But
forward. So he's
it's what
like
Kyle's vision of their family and their future is. So it is about
in
him.
20
But
years.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Because
always
it's
what
his
his vision
timeline.
is. Yes, they need to follow his path and what he has planned and what his timeline is and where he wants to live. Like Amanda does not get a voice in any of this.
She doesn't even get a voice about her own passion at this point.
No, because it has to be Kyle's passion. Amanda's passion has to be Kyle's passion. Just subservient.
Amanda's passion is Kyle.
Yeah. It's like it's the
Jesus
opposite
Christ.
of Ken. Like Ken is just there for Barbie, you know? Amanda's just there for Kyle.
I had, oh my God, Meredith, funny you bring that up before we finish this episode. I had this whole theory where I, like, as I'm raging after watching this episode, I'm like, this is why girls who watch Bravo are either A, single, or B, have a golden retriever boyfriend, like a Ken, who only have a good day when they look at him. Because I don't know one girl who's in a shitty ass relationship with a man, but is still like, I love watching Bravo. Because you see the shittiness on your TV and you go, oh my God.
Our toxic relationship is with Bravo. I'm like so upset with Bravo lately. I'm so done. Like I just feel like the veil has been lifted and I'm so fucking rageful.
Oh
lately.
my God. The fact that they're always also kind of editing it to make Lindsay like the villain. Oh, I'm so mad.
Alicia,
That's how I feel.
I thought about it so hard because the parallels between Vanderpump and Summer House are just very interesting lately.
It's insane.
Where I just had the thought that it's like Kyle's rage is accepted. Male rage is always accepted on Bravo. But Lindsay was yelling earlier and like Carl was like, oh, now you're defensive. Now you're upset.
Why are you crying?
And
yeah.
I just found myself
impossible.
like falling into that. Like I can always justify the male rage because I've been conditioned to. But the minute Lindsay yells, I'm like, God, Lindsay.
I'm changing my conditions. What a man even raises his voice a little bit.
I'm done.
I'm literally gonna go. I saw this on a TV show. Okay, fun fact, you guys. I'm rewatching All American because I forgot kind of what happened. And one of the guys yells at his mom, and she goes, "Take that bass out of your voice right now." And that's what I'm gonna say. A man starts to yell at me. I'm gonna go, "Take the bass out of your voice. Take it out right now."
That.
I'm not. We're not speaking.
Not today,
if you're
sir.
yelling at me. No, absolutely not. Get fucked. How about that? So, so yeah, Amanda's like, yourself. And Kyle immediately gets pissed. He says, fuck you to Amanda. And he storms out and calls her a bitch. And then somehow, I thought he went out the front door, but he ends up in the backyard.
He went out the front door,
around
circled around the house, but we don't have literally complete surveillance of this house. But yeah, he ends up in the backyard.
He should have just walked out the way Lindsay did. He should have slithered out.
But then he wouldn't get the front door slamming, the dramatics that he wants. Again, men can be dramatic and we don't freak out.
Gabby literally goes, who the fuck is slamming the door? Like, that is so unnecessary.
1,000%. I feel that, Gabby. And I love that we are not paying so much attention to Kyle's like tantrum, because that's what it is, to even know who walked out the door.
Get your emotions fucking under control. Okay, how about that? So Kyle ends up in the backyard. He throws a full ass tantrum. First, Danielle and Carl are like, hey man. And then he like, Carl chucks a drink or something and is like mad. And they're like, whoa, okay, like what's happening? So they get up and they're like, are you okay? And Kyle says he's done trying to pretend it's okay to babysit his wife. Ugh. And then he says, Oh, she wants a passion project. She wants purpose. Well, I want to be a DJ. And I went, you're a dick. You're just like,
Okay, why
you're
are
the
we making
worst.
this about you?
Who would take you seriously? Like,
Nobody
I'm
is
not
holding
right
you
now.
to Loverboy or being an entrepreneur. You
Go be a
chose
DJ
that.
then.
Go be
Here's
a
like
DJ.
here's the funniest part is Amanda calmly was like, hey, I'm looking for like my passion. And Kyle literally loses his mind. But this man is screaming about how he wants to be a DJ. Like, I would have looked at him and been like, go be a DJ then. Like, women are so calm. I can't get over how like calm we are in
But it's like
situations.
he's holding her responsible for his own life choices and passions. Like, I do really believe he's
Yes.
passionate about being an entrepreneur, but like, why
Great.
is it her fault for wanting to pursue a life because you've chosen not to pursue a life that you've wanted?
Can you believe that people think women are too emotional to be in office?
It's just
Like,
because
can
we
you
accept male
believe
emotions. We've been conditioned to not accept like female
like
emotions.
this
We've
is
been
the man in
gaslit.
charge of a company. This man runs a company. How?
That actually scares me. I mean, there's just so many things wrong. I'm so
Like,
disappointed on how he's even speaking about Amanda within their
yeah.
corporation
You
too.
know what's embarrassing is like Loverboy employees are probably watching this show and like Kyle's just gonna go to work the next day and tell him what to do. I'd be like, you're literally crying about nothing. You're not gonna tell me what to do.
That's so true.
Like,
If
no
I
respect.
saw my boss
Do
scream, I have a
this.
female boss, but say I had a male boss, scream at his
His wife like
wife
this. Oh my
and
god.
then like find out that then like because you could probably pinpoint what weekend this was, then the next Monday then he came in and like honestly did anything, blinked in my face, I would be appalled.
Yeah, like he's lucky I don't work for Loverboy because I would have looked at him straight in the face and been like, "Are you embarrassed for your actions? Because I'm
That's the thing,
embarrassed
I
to
would have
work
been
for
like,
you."
explain yourself.
This
Like
is so
now walking in
embarrassing.
to the office on Friday or even on Monday or like whatever day after you watch this, being like, I'm gonna need you to talk about that. Like
Yeah,
let's debrief for the office sake.
you still got Sierra's shorts and a twist, or are you good now?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, get it together. You run a company. This is why no one's buying Loverboy. Because you're yelling
Mm-hmm.
at women. Because then he's like in Danielle's face about how he works so hard. And Danielle's trying to be like, what are you talking about? But he keeps yelling at Danielle now. And Danielle's like, what do I do?
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
Danielle's
Stop
like,
yelling at
simmer
me.
down, like chill the fuck out for a minute. It's not that deep. Amanda wants to go like collab on a swimsuit line. Simmer down.
Danielle says nothing. She's like, what are you taught? And he goes, Amanda thinks she works for me. If she worked for me, she'd be fired. And literally Danielle and Carl both go, oh, like just,
That
oh.
that weirdly I find the most offensive. How fucking dare you constantly like peddle this narrative that your wife is lazy and does nothing, considering your limoncello flavor, all the design, all the branding, all the name recognition is because of your wife.
Can you believe also, I swear to God, it's like we have to watch Vanderpump Rules twice in a row because this show, the parallels are insane. So
Mm-hmm.
Sandoval is pushing this narrative that Ariana was so lazy. She's so lazy. She's so lazy,
Yep.
And so
It's a
Kyle is pushing
lazy argument. But keep
Kyle
going.
is pushing
Sorry.
that same narrative. But have you noticed that like Carl hasn't had a job for 8 months and Lindsay's never called him lazy. She's just said, I want you to be passionate about something. Like, there's a way to go about it that, like, you don't have to
Yeah.
put the other person down. And someone in our DMs, I think it was, I'm not going to guess, but someone in our DMs was talking about Ariana and was like,
Mm-hmm.
how dare he say that, like, Ariana is lazy because she also goes through a lot of mental health stuff and sometimes you're just depressed and you need a moment to do nothing. So yeah, you don't want to leave your bed. I think Amanda is genuinely going through a mental moment where she's not happy in the city. So she's not happy in her environment. So yeah, she doesn't want to get out
Yeah.
of bed and she doesn't have a passion. So she's not lazy. Do you ever think she might just be a little depressed? And she might
But
just need
also
like a fucking moment?
managing her depression in the right way. Whenever I'm like for the last few months have kind of been going through like a meh, like not feeling my best. And so I work from my bed. I work from my couch because like I know that'll bring me enough joy to be able to do the tasks that I normally would be able to just sit at my desk and do. You know, like not everything is easy when you're not in the best headspace. And so like you
Yeah.
end up putting yourself in the best position to be able to complete whatever you actually need to do because the world does continue on. So like, what if Amanda's working from bread? Like, why is he so critical and like micromanaging her that she's not doing it exactly how he would do it or how he wants her to do it? If she is giving you what you ask for as your designer, that's enough. Why does she have to work? He talks about how he like works 18-hour days. Just because you do it doesn't mean everybody else needs to or wants to do that. That's a you problem.
We are like, obviously we don't know Amanda's like mental state and what she's going through. Like she hasn't been as open as like, let's say Ariana has, but Amanda has opened up about how she wants kids. She's having a fertility, some fertility issues that she's like working on. She had to go to the doctor. She was like messing with her period was off. She also really wants to get out of her environment. She's not happy in it. She's not happy at her job. She has no passion. I would say mentally she's probably in a very meh state right now. So nothing, then to weaponize
nothing
again,
is screaming, I'm doing incredible.
So then to again weaponize like her mental health in a way of like she's lazy, like this is crazy. Am I crazy?
No.
Oh my god, divorce.
It's annoying because it's so
him.
blatantly obvious. And like you said, we're seeing it on both of these shows that we're watching, Vanderpump and Summer House. And it's deeply upsetting to watch it happen to both of these women. And then like you comparing it to Carl broke my mind wide open that like Carl doesn't get called lazy. He's like Lindsay has what could be more productive conversations for sure, but like talking about his drive, like she's trying to spark, like the desire and like the action, but she's not, like you said, putting him down in lazy arguments by calling him lazy,
No. Whereas Amanda's openly saying, I want to find a passion. And instead of helping her find that passion, Kyle is ripping her to shreds.
Yes.
He doesn't
Amanda's
love her.
Doing better than Carl.
He hates women. I know.
1,000%.
Kyle hates women.
Amanda's
you can't convince me otherwise.
Amanda's like, hey, I kind of know what I want to do. I want to do something on the side. I'm really driven about finding the thing I'm passionate about. And I'm just telling you I'm going to do it. And Kyle's like, you're so lazy. I can't believe you want to help more out Loverboy. You're so lazy. You want to do something else.
But then on the other side, when Carl is like, Lindsay is like forcing me or like really pushing me to find this passion, but she's like trying to help me, but it's actually coming across as really critical. Who's being critical now? Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle has Carl's support, or he's supporting Carl through fucking everything. But the minute his own fucking wife, who he should love and support above all, mentions that she wants to find something else, no, he can't do that because it doesn't have to do with him. He hates women. He hates Lindsay for putting this on Carl. Oh my god!
It's because
Carl's
a man and Amanda's a woman.
Carl's a man. Doesn't matter. So, whatever. I hope Kyle has the worst weekend of his whole fucking life this weekend. Anyway, I hope Amanda's parents fucking hate him even more.
I swear to God, if they sleep in the same bed this night, I am done. He better sleep on the fucking couch or with West. I'm done. Do not let him in your bed, Amanda.
This better be talked about at the reunion. This better be. Andy better fucking. Paige better fucking kill him. Oh my God, we all better fucking.
We gotta move on because you're gonna rage spiral. You're gonna rage spiral for the next 12 hours of your day.
Let me host the reunion. I destroy him.
Breath. Everybody, Alicia and everybody listening to the deep breath.
So should we talk about fun, not fun?
Oh, also, I'm annoyed with the to be continued. I'm
done with God, it's not that serious.
Leave them off my screen.
The thing is, a to be continued is when someone we care about is in a bad situation. I don't care about what happens to Kyle. He could drown in the pool at this point, and I'd be like, oh well. So just put it in the next time on Summer House, and I'd be done with it.
Do not make me do this next week. Like, why are we going to come back to this rage fest?
Literally, also, if a show has more than 2 to be continueds in a season, it's a shitty ass show. This show has at least had 7. Like, stop.
Agreed.
Stop. You have nothing coming for this season then. How'd the show get fucking greenlit again? There's too many to be fucking continues. Yeah. I'm about to go to the Hamptons just to find Kyle while he's filming and be like, you're a piece of shit.
Another deep breath. Let's do fun, not fun.
Should we do fun, not fun? Can we just start with not fun so we can end on a good note?
3, 2, 1. Kyle.
Carl. Okay, it's the dudes. Kyle and
No,
Carl.
no explanation. No
Literally
explanation at all.
trash. Okay, who's your fun though?
I
There
don't know
weren't
if
a
I
lot of
have
like
that.
funs. There were a lot of people I
No.
support, you know?
That's the thing. It's like, it's not that that person was fun. It's that they were being attacked and I'm not okay with it, you know?
Yeah. Like I just want to go against the person I picked for not fun again, you know?
Yes. But like
Cool.
for
So
me, the spirit of it is not that. So you can
I
pick your person
know.
based on that. But
No, but
I'm gonna
that's
go
not
with
the
West.
spirit.
I'm
Okay.
going to go with West. He had a really great conversation with Paige. It really gave me hope for him and Sierra. He was supportive for Jesse, but isn't like outing Jesse's like worry and concern. I love when someone can like hear someone's worry and concern and not blab it to the entire house. So it's
Yeah.
West for me.
I love that. I rightfully cannot pick a man this episode.
No, I
I
understand
don't
that.
care. So I'm gonna go with Lindsay because, and I picked her over Amanda only because she, I feel like, handled herself really well in all conversations,
Mm-hmm.
was still able to rally, go enjoy her pool and boat day, and also
True.
explain herself to the women. And you know what's fun for me is this girl gang that I really love the cohesiveness amongst the women in this group. So I liked her being able to openly share her concerns with the girls and then them all rally around her. And I think that's what helped her have a really good boat day following that. And I think
True.
Lindsay's very good at being able to, even if she's upset, turn it on and be like, the cameras are happening. I'm having fun. Like, this is what my job is. And I think she had a great time dancing. She looked like she was laughing at Kyle's shortlist. So I'm going to give it to Lindsay. And I
I
owe her
love
that because
that.
I really did question her and I regret it.
Yeah.
So
Well, okay, there were some rightful moments to question her. You can support her in the overall like
I should have
storyline, I'll
supported more.
say, of the breakup, but still say like she did things wrong along the way too.
Yes.
Like that's what friends
So
do.
that's
Like
me.
we're
Yes.
friends with her, obviously. So it's like you're
That's
checking
what
her on
friends
her
do.
bad behavior and supporting her in the overarching chaos of that's about to go down.
Exactly. So we have one thought from Kirsten for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I love this season with all the girls hanging out. Setting aside the Carlinda, if you know, you know. Is that because he's a fucking loser? Carlinda?
I think it's
Linda means
Carlindo is. I think it was
nope,
supposed
she
to be,
said
maybe it was a typo.
Carlinda. Carlito, but this clearly says
Oh, you're
Carlinda.
right. Maybe it's supposed to be
I'm just gonna
Carl and
say
Lindsay added
no.
together.
I think let me say my thoughts. My grandma always called us Linda
Mm-hmm.
because that means like we're very cute, we're very beautiful, whatever, like que linda. And so I have a feeling this is maybe calling Carl a fucking, I don't love it, like a pussy almost, because like I think pussies are beautiful and like we're stronger than dicks, obviously.
True.
But you know, but I'll look this up. Setting aside the Carlinda, if you know, you know of it all, this was a great episode. I liked the tarot reading, hanging by the pool, the boat day, etc. The cast hasn't been this great and cohesive since season 4. I agree. This cast is so fun,
I
especially
know,
the
and it's
women.
well, I'm like, okay, so is everybody gonna join for season 9? Like, that's where the drama is. Is Carl and Lindsay like basically navigating in this group after a breakup? Like, I just, it's kind of hard to watch everybody get like somewhat get along outside of just the couples, and knowing that like that's so tough to then return.
Yeah, definitely. Crazy. Okay, well, yeah, I really do like this group. Except
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if we got rid of Kyle and Carl, it would just like make it better, you know? But question, because we did get greenlit really quick, and then we have to go back to our real jobs. Um, just really quick, do we think Carl and Lindsay are going to come back for season 9?
Yeah, I think they are because I think
You
what's
think both of them?
challenging, well, what's challenging is that I've kind of realized this with like over on Vanderpump with Ariana and Sheena, like talking about their like financial stuff in their season, is that I think a lot of these reality TV stars are living are using all of their money. It seems like they're using all of their money they're making. So then they end up becoming dependent on the show to keep living their life that they're so accustomed to. And so it's kind of like golden handcuffs. So I think they're golden handcuffed to this show a little bit.
Interesting. All right, well, I
It's
guess
the bulk of their income, clearly.
you know what? That kind of makes me happy because I know if Lindsay's living in that house with her ex-fiance, he will never know a moment of peace.
That's so true.
And I like that. I like that. And I hope he never, this whole summer, if he films, there's no peace for him. He's always worried when he has a knife around the corner.
She is going to be so activated, and for the first time,
I'm in it.
Fully support it.
Me too. Should we get activated hats in every episode? Just like wear them and be like, this is it.
We'll make our own activated merch to watch next season.
No, because she has merch. We can't steal. We're gonna get sued by Lindsay.
I guess I need to buy her merch and wear it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is we buy her merch.
I think I need a prescription for Xanax to be able to watch next season.
I'm already. My heart is pumping. I don't think it's healthy. So I'm gonna look into activated merch for us. But anyway, this honestly was a fun episode to talk about because we just had like a lot to do.
Very
but thank you so much. Please do all the things. The finale I think is right around the corner. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks for joining. Bye.